And welcome back to the MTG Rundown. I'm Andrew.
I'm gonna wreck it.
I'm Nick.
Okay, I'm really happy you're going to do that. And on today's show, we have some big bonko news. We have a BNR announcement that was made yesterday. So today we record this on Tuesday. This was done on Monday. So you'll see this Friday, but we're going to talk about it still.
October 11th, 2022.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those days. And then
I'm just literally telling them so they know.
Oh, yeah. No,
so
you're
they
fair.
know
That's fair.
that how much information we have and whether or not to be angry with us.
They can be. I don't give a shit.
Well, angry in a way that drives interaction.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. I do want some interaction.
You know? Yeah.
Oku did nothing wrong. Here we
Please,
go.
please address all complaints to my mailing address with at least $5 enclosed to cover a cost of my attention.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
We do require that. We do require $5 each.
Send all the money to PayPal at Facianier.
Okay.
That's a person's actual PayPal.
Is it your PayPal?
It is not my PayPal, but it is a person's actual PayPal.
Well, somebody's getting $5 randomly.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. And then, we're also going to talk about some news of what some cheeky sellers are doing with the Warhammer decks. They're being cheeky, quite cheeky. And we're going to talk about our own little Commander game that we shot that you would hopefully have already seen.
Is the cheeky thing that they're doing the iPhone 10 thing or the PS5 thing where they sell it for full price, but actually it's just the box?
No, this is much more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have Nick dive into that when we get there.
Great.
It's actually pretty interesting.
Okay. I'm into that. But that's going to have to wait.
Because
we got some bands, Hell yeah.
So yeah, the bands. So we had two very interesting bands. One I saw coming, one I didn't see coming.
So that's interesting. So it's interesting you say that they are interesting bands because I feel like these are the most like milquetoast. Bands like we've had since Hogak.
So let me reiterate interesting. What I mean by interesting. Interesting as in the one that I expected them to do, yeah, that makes sense. The other one, I'm glad they did, but didn't expect it.
Okay.
That's the way not that I'm like, oh my God, this is earth-shattering. Okay. More along the lines of, oh, okay. Like pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bands, there was a band in Standard and a band in Modern because Pioneer and Legacy are completely healthy and nothing's wrong with none of them.
Would you please go back not 3 episodes to where Andrew said Pioneer was the healthiest format and in a good place and doesn't really need anything to change? Could you pull that? Could you pull all of those clips up? Because he said that a lot. So I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I still mean that about Pioneer.
Then don't include Pioneer in your sassy comment.
Oh, because I do have something to say about Pioneer later.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see.
Yeah, whatever.
You'll see the sassiness get back.
Anyway.
So Standard, the Meat Hook Massacre has been banned.
Yay! Woo! Now you have to pay the straight up wrath.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have to play Depopulate now instead.
I played Depopulate.
It's good. Vanquish the Horde is also good.
Yep.
You are flush with good good board wipes right now, guys.
There's also the board wipe cleave, the one that has cleave.
The one that has cleave. Yep.
There's plenty of removal, folks.
Yeah, Meat Hook Massacre, okay, fine. Yeah. I guess aggro can come back. All right. I guess you're allowed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
I really don't mind it at all.
Colin was in tears.
Britain?
Yeah. Because we put a big announcement, or Mitchell put an announcement on there on the Fantasy Games Magic group, and Colin responded with a smiley face, but tears coming down. So there goes that. So yeah, Meat Hook Massacre banned. What was really funny about it was the reasoning why they banned it. That article reading that was a lot of fun because they basically said there were a lot of black cards that were strong, but they couldn't justify banning all of them or having a hard time picking which one because by themselves they're not that strong, but together it's really good. And it honestly felt like they just said, okay, we picked one and went with it.
See, that's not how I read it at all. I felt like it was the one that, between literally every black deck, you are playing Meat Hook Massacre. That is not true with all of the other cards.
True. It's not true with all of Invoke Despair. You're not going to see in
Real good, but you're playing Invoke, right?
Yeah.
The deck is called Invoke, right? The problem with every card that is playing, every deck that is playing black right now in Standard, you are playing 2 to 4 copies of Meat Hook Massacre.
That is true.
Somewhere in your main or sideboard.
Right. And I will say, though, with anything running black right now, except maybe a couple Esper lists, I've been seeing Lilies and Shouldred showing up with that. That's why I said it the way that I did.
Sure.
Because they literally made it sound like they said, okay, we've ripped up Shouldred, Lily, Meat Hook Massacre, and Invoke Despair on pieces of paper. I'm going to put it in the hat. Okay, where's that fucking intern? And they handed the hat over, and the intern picked it. It says Meat Hook Massacre. Great, you just figured out the next Standard ban. And then walked away. That's how I want to envision that it happened.
That's fair, but there was no way they were going to ban Shouldred
Oh, God.
or Liliana.
Not if they wanted riots.
Well, I just mean, like, because they want money.
Well, they're that too.
Right? Like, they are the 2 chase cards from the newest set.
True.
Right? Like,
hello, Oko. Nice new mask you have on today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was the Standard ban. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it.
I think Meat Hook Massacre. I think it's like, oh, it's a toxic card, but it's not a card that is like too earth shattering because you can kind of get around with it. It just made it harder for aggro decks. It made it harder for those low beater decks to get around because instead of having to pay 5 mana for a board wipe, they're having to pay like 4 or 3 depending on what you're running with.
No, but you have Depopulate, which is literally 4 mana.
Yeah, Depopulate's great for white.
Yeah, Depopulate
but it's in white, so you'd have to splash white.
It's
in there.
Esper Control, dude. That's the biggest deck right now is Esper mid-range.
It's one of the biggest decks. I'm not going to say the biggest deck. Let's be honest. Let's be real here.
Okay. 25% like share of the metagame.
Well, yeah, but there's also Grixis. Grixis is up there. Like, I'm for sure Grixis is above Esper at this point.
Okay. You're probably right, because I don't play Standard, but okay.
I do. I'm that nerd. But,
in short, sorry, Esper.
Yeah.
I know how much you love that card.
You'll be fine. Honestly, you'll be fine. It'll be great.
Yeah.
But then we moved to the modern ban, which I know you're happy about.
Yorion Sky Nomad is finally banned. This one has been a long time coming. With the prevalence of just 4-color, we'll figure it out eventually piles. And especially with the new domain decks on the rise that are just adding the last triome because 1 mana for oh god, the 2 Leyline Binding, but it's just the 2 mana, the 2 white mana whatever, doesn't matter. I'll think of it eventually. But like a 1 mana immediate really good removal for like anything you could possibly play is really good. And also my god, can I please see something other than literally every single elemental you've ever printed just like thrown at a table and like eventually you just get there? Because what are you gonna do, outvalue me? No, you're not. Anyway, I'm really glad that Yorion is banned because it led to very repetitive and uninteresting play patterns.
See, yeah. I am mildly saddened by Yorion's ban only because of the amount of opponents I've had time out on Moto because they couldn't figure out how the fuck to resolve all the triggers in time.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Like, oh, darn, now I don't get free wins from people who just bought the deck thinking, oh, it's got a good share, it's got to be good, and then...
Yeah.
No, it is good, but also you have to like know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I miss my free, 1-0 wins.
Well, you know what's funny about that is one of the things that they said on the ban and restrict announcement is they were talking about, the time it would take for
to shuffle.
Matches. Yeah, the shuffle and the matches and all of that. And honestly, to me, it's just like, it needed to be done because I was just, it was repetitive. It's like, okay, it's the same thing. It takes up way too much time.
It was either ban Yorion or ban the fetches, and they're not going to ban the fetches, even though I know you want to, Wizards. I know you hate the fetches, but fuck you.
It's the fucking Sensei's Divine Top again. Like, it's not too good.
Yeah.
It just makes everything take so damn long.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, again, it comes back to the whole thing of like they just are saying, yeah, no, we made a mistake with Companion.
I mean,
It's
yeah, they
more-
just like, I mean, they just keep saying the thing they said about Companion the first time they had to make a statement on it, which is Companion is the biggest mistake since Storm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, so it's again, like I saw the Jordan ban, the Meat Massacre one is there, but surprisingly enough, no bans in Pioneer.
Hey, Nick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how's Legacy right now?
Well, according to Wizards, it's fine. Delver's only 9% of the fucking meta. In leagues where you play whatever you feel like. Whenever it's league, no one gives a shit. Like, I have played 5-color, I just threw a deck together because I have to do it daily before for these fucking leagues. And it's gone 4-1. Leagues on Moto are a joke. But then you go like, hey, there's a cash event down in like Missouri. Let's see what the field is like. Oh, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and like 7th, Delver. Oh, what's that, a 10K last month? How'd Delver do? Oh, 62%. Oh, but it's okay because Wizards thinks that Leyline Binding is clearly the answer to Delver. That's, what is it, 6 mana fucking Dominion exile a thing?
Domain, yeah.
Yeah. Wizards. You built a special little committee just for Pauper when you said we're going to start treating this like it's a real format. Because you admitted you do not know enough about Pauper to properly regulate it. Legacy fucking needs it at this point. You clearly have no goddamn idea because you go, oh, 9% league data, that's fine. Look at the tournaments. Look at what people are sitting down playing with. When people are fucking around, sure, 9%, but when they need to win, it is Delver every day, every fucking game. Murktide is like absolute fucking powerhouse. It's beating the format to death. You finally took out Ragavan after God knows how many fucking months of that card just stomping over everyone. Please put together a fucking Legacy committee because I'm tired of my favorite format in the world being the, if we don't give a shit about them, fuck them. They're playing with those lands we can't print anymore. We don't make money off them. Fuck those guys. Seriously. I love this game. I've spent 21 years of my fucking life playing this game. I had to do that math last night talking to someone. 21 fucking years. And it is at the point where I'm looking at the format that I love that you are just treating like it's fine. We don't give a shit. We'll give them a PPTQ or something in next year. We don't fuck them. They can have whatever they want. We don't fix the damn format.
So let me ask you this:
Mhm.
What do you want to see banned?
Modern Horizons 2, to be honest.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
it is pre Modern Horizons. Legacy was exceptionally healthy. There was a nice, lovely, diverse format. Delver was obviously the popular deck, but you had 4C piles, you had lands, you had Reanimator, you had aggro decks.
You had
Everything-
miracles,
yeah.
dude. Miracles, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
Everything
yeah.
was
not-
playable.
You don't see miracles anymore.
Really don't.
And now between Dragon Rage Channeler and Murktide, Blue Red Delver just goes, oh, I'm just going to have so much more value than any other deck can compete with. I'm a lifelong Reanimator player. Where I go, yeah, I'm going to drop a Grosser Brand. Oh, they just dropped a fucking 14 power Murktide on turn 2 on me. I have nothing that can fight this now.
Jeez.
Like Murktide by itself is already a powerhouse. Dragon Rage is good. Prismatic, I'm blanking on the DLX for Domain, basically. Insanely good.
Mhm.
Fucking good old, what is it, Plague Engineer has wiped out in most tribal decks at this point to where elves, goblins, merfolk are kind of a joke. Or, like, I would love to sit down and shuffle a merfolk deck. Unfortunately, someone goes, oh, that's fine. Here's this. Wipe your board, thank you. Anyways, I'm going to beat you to death now with my 2/2 Death Toucher. Like,
Jeez.
it is getting worse and worse and worse every set because they are so afraid to ban anything out of Legacy. Because they go, oh no, Legacy is the eternal format. We don't want to touch that. We want to leave it the fuck alone. They can have whatever they want. Because, well, our League 9% shows that's a healthy format, ignoring the fact that when you have a deck that has always been in the format and just gets better every time you print blue and red cards, when you print pushed blue and red cards like Deathrite, Ragavan, or not, sorry, Dragon Rage, Ragavan, Murktide, fucking, what is it, Subtlety is starting to see a small amount of play just because, oh, hey, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fury's doing a little bit of work. Just, please, ban 2019 onward Legacy for all I care. Like, I can't.
Sure.
What? Look, let me think. Well, 2019 was War of the Spark 4, good old 3 Fairy, which turned Blue-White Control into the world's longest slog.
Yep.
And then we got fucking Narset, which turned Legacy into Draw Go the format. You look like you're about to say something happy.
Those are two of my favorite cards
Yeah.
ever printed.
Oh, I love them to death.
Oh, they're great.
But when you get to play all the good blue cantrips, and your opponent goes, "That's nice, you have a Narset." You want to stab your fucking eyes out.
like, yes, there
Yeah.
is a reason why Hold Preacher was banned from Commander, and it's
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
any format that is just like, oh, here's Hold Preacher wheel, ha ha,
Remember,
yeah.
this format, Hold Breacher and Op Agent are legal in.
yeah,
That's a nice brainstorm, ponder, pre-order. You get the fucking point.
yeah.
They Legacy is turning into like the victim of the we want to print specific 4 format cards that are going to be extremely pushed and powerful, and then we're just going to not regulate them at all because fuck them, they can have 4 copies. Enjoy.
I also think that Legacy, and I mean Vintage isn't real, right? Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like people who play Vintage, but literally no, like people could conceivably like scrap together a Legacy list, right? It's still conceivable. You can still find duels for like cheap enough. Like, I mean, they're too expensive, but like you could conceivably like scrap together enough trades to get a playset of the duels that you need, right? It's not out of the question. Vintage just isn't a real format because literally the only people who can play it are the people who were the alpha and beta testers of Magic the Gathering. Anyway, shit, I forgot my point. Oh well, Legacy is the most fun you can have in Magic the Gathering, and I'm sorry to see that the constant printing of there it is. Commander products and conspiracy products being legal in Eternal formats is just bad at this point.
It's the same thing with Infinity too.
And now that they've put the literal actual joke set is legal in Legacy is absurd.
Yeah. Like the point.
Frankly,
Obviously, I sit in a lot of Legacy discussion groups because I'm a fucking nerd.
yeah.
And someone sat down and they calculated out for all of 2022 every single Legacy event that there was cash on the line for.
Yeah.
What did the field look like? And overwhelmingly, it was like of the top 8. Typically, 5 to 6 of the decks were blue-red Delver decks across the board, consistently. Minimal to no diversity across the format because it's just I need to win. I play Delver now. Why? Because no one else can compete with what Delver has at the moment. Any cards that have gotten close have been banned, but Wizards has apparently just taken the point for the last couple of years where like we're going to sit back, let Legacy do whatever the fuck they want, and until a deck finally starts to show up enough that it gets our attention, we'll do something about it. But if they're only looking at, especially the league data, where they're saying, "Oh, it's 9%," that's fine. They're not seeing the full picture. They're not seeing that Legacy is becoming an incredibly inbred format.
Well, yeah. Do they not look at like I guess are there Legacy challenges like there are modern challenges?
No, they don't fire. The online format has gotten so bad, most people stopped. And for a long time, there was a major issue with people win trading in Legacy leagues. They would get multiple accounts, log into a queue, and they would sit there and go, cool, if I get one of the fake accounts, they auto-concede to me, cool. If the fake account, the lose account, I shouldn't say the fake account, matches with someone else, all it's going to do is sit there and stall out so that the account that's going to be getting the prizes gets free wins over and over and over and over and over because the legacy payout was good enough that you could put in all these accounts and still make money out of it each time. Do people just stop playing legacy leagues? And then so people started going over the daily challenges and just doing like, oh, we're going to sit down and play a league, have fun. And legacy leagues are dumb. Like I've played against people who are playing 60 card singleton for the fun of it.
Sure.
I've run into people who just played their modern deck because they wanted to try it out. Like legacy league is literally whatever the fuck you feel like. People have had standard decks in there before where somehow that standard deck went 5-0.
Sure.
Because they matched against a bunch of literal clowns where like, I'm going to play my blue-red fucking commander deck and play literal nothing for 16 turns and get beaten to death by a token. Like, have you ever looked at the top 5 deck lists from Legacy before?
Yeah.
What have you seen when you looked at them?
I mean, it's Delver, and then I don't know. Sometimes Doomsday makes it up there. So, like
Death and Taxes.
Like yeah, it's Death and Taxes. Reanimator. Right. for a while, there was a deck called Generic Ragavan. That was like that. When I saw like 4 lists being called Generic Ragavan, is kind of when I stopped paying attention, just because like I just like cannot like it. Fuck it. But yeah, number 1 is always Delver. And then 2 to 5 are some combination of Death and Taxes and Reanimator, depending on how the field is looking for Reanimator. Because if you're not boarding for Reanimator, you're fucked. But it's like that, like a you know,
like
the last time I checked, anyway.
Also, it is sitting there playing. It is you run into Delver lists and you run into weird.
Sure.
Jank, basically.
Yeah, jank. Yeah, just weird, shitty jank because there's not much cost of entry and anyone can do it. It's they're meant to be fun. It's elite, yeah. Which is why the 9% league data is so horrifically skewed because no one wants to sit down and go, I'm going to play the tier 0 at this point, Delver list, and just stomp people for 5 games straight and feel good about myself. They just want people to sit down and have fun with it because fucking I want to play the silly fun deck where there's not money on the line.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you go to your big cash event in downstate, and everyone plays Delver. Like I made the terrible mistake of signing up for one of the bigger events. I was like, I'm going to try this out. I really want to play some competitive Legacy.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm bringing my Reanimator list. I went 05. All 5 I matches, blue-red Delver decks. Turned to my friends who signed up. Hello, Emmy. How are you doing today? And I said, Emmy, how was your game? She goes, oh, I'm great. I'm 5-0. What are you playing? Delver. Hey, Hannah, how are you doing? Oh, I'm 05. What'd you play against? 5 Delver decks. Like, looking at the top 5, like, at that particular event, it was 7 of the top 8 were blue-red Delver running Murktide, Ragavan, Deathrite Channel. I keep saying I'm so used to fucking Deathrite.
Yeah.
Fucking DRC, goddammit.
Yeah, Dragon Rage Channel.
Dragon Rage
Yeah,
Channel,
fucking goddamn Darcy.
Yeah.
It's just... I'm pretty much famous at this point where it's like, Wizards, please make a goddamn dedicated group to look at Legacy.
Yeah.
Do not just look at your league data and go, it's fine. Because Moto leagues at this point have become such a shit show with how you refuse to fix the client. And
I mean, yeah, Moto is like a joke for every single format.
For over a month, the number 1 Legacy league deck was it's an enchantment. Whenever a land you control is put in the graveyard by an effect your opponent controls, return to the battlefield. It was bugged to where your fetch lands counted, so you could infinitely fetch your entire mana base. And that was winning over and over because they would just go, I think it was Sacred Ground. Sacred Ground, fetch land, dump my entire deck. I have nothing but spells now. And it would win over and over and over because they just go, boop, win. And that was the number 1 deck where they said, oh, that seems fine. Everyone's like, and every person who's playing these leagues is going Wizards. That's not fine. That's a fucking bug.
Yeah.
Fetch lands shouldn't count for this card. And they went, well, it seems like it's working as intended. I'm sorry, what?
Then if it's working as intended, then you have to change the rulings on this card for paper because that literally breaks the rules that you have like set up for this card.
Yeah.
Like at this point, Moto is we are going to leave it alone because we're still making money from it, but we are not putting any money back into that damn thing. Like they're gonna wait until the last player finally logs off and then just kill it on the spot. But until they move, like Vintage Q over to Arena, it's gonna survive. And we're just gonna treat it like it seems like they've been doing all their products where they just say, we're gonna ignore it for as much as we humanly fucking can, as long as it keeps making us money. As soon as it starts costing us money, kill it, shoot it dead on the spot. But if you want to keep giving us money, that's fine. We'll leave it alone. You can play your stupid little Eternal Leagues, and we'll just spit in your faces every so often with a new card to ruin your format. I am incredibly bitter about this.
You should be. Legacy,
should be,
as I said earlier, Legacy is the most fun you can have in Magic the Gathering, honestly. It is like the pinnacle
And
of what the
ruining
game is. Yeah.
The competitive Legacy group that I'm in, the day that BNR went out, the administrators locked the entire thing. People were so angry. Like they're like, no fucking comments. We know you're mad. Calm down.
Jeez.
It was an absolute shit show of just like, so we get to spend another how many fucking months of Murktide Regent, Delver of Secrets, just stomping.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Feels fantastic. I miss when the problem was like Monastery Mentor being a value engine. Or like, oh no, the fucking dredge list is able to kill you on turn 2 right now.
Yeah.
In a format where turn 0 kills are possible.
And
Yeah.
And they stopped playing those because why play Belcher when you can just play fucking Delver?
yeah.
I miss Belcher. It was a fun deck. It was fun to watch someone go, are you going to kill me or you're just going to die on the spot? Let's find out.
I love those kind of
It,
games.
it was pretty. It's pretty fun. It so I will occasionally like play Doomsday on Moto because I like Doomsday. It's a fun stupid combo. And one of my favorite like just little interactions is like, past their turn they like played Charbelcher, did the Charbelcher thing, and then I just like I didn't see the result. It just went, you lose, and kicked me.
Yep.
And I was like, okay.
Yep.
I guess I lost.
Yep. Yeah, that's there's so many good fucking legacy decks. There's
Yeah.
like, you can't play them anymore.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to an event and play a Doomsday combo, but I'm dead on turn 3 because my opponent Murktided me to fucking Oblivion again.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you got a board full of Dragon Rages, a Monastery Swift Spear, and a shitload of bolts in hand.
So
Well, there is that game.
okay, so my question is, because I don't know Legacy enough right now. Like I know it's all Delver basically. So if you could choose, if you said, okay, fine, you want something banned, what's one card that you would ban that you would think would shake it up to where you can actually have a diversive?
It would have to be
Legacy.
2 cards.
Okay, 2 cards, sure.
It would have to be 2 cards.
I mean, I don't know. Even just the single Murktide ban would slow Delver down.
It would,
enough.
but the problem is Darcy is still Darcy with Delver is still too much. You would have to ban them both.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just because they're too efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see that. No, I
Yeah.
wholeheartedly agree. So
Yeah, the amount of games, they've just been like turn 1 Island with Delver, turn 2 Flip Delver, Darcy, turn 3 Thought Scour myself, Murktide Regent. If you do not have an answer, immediately the game is now over. Because if I get to untap with these 3 cards in play, I'm sitting on counter magic, bolts, and removal.
It's the Dreadhorde Arcanist problem,
okay,
right?
Okay.
Right?
It's
Because
exactly that. Yep.
because you're able to untap and then just like your bolts are also draw spells, and that's just simply too good.
Yeah.
They cast a bolt. It goes from, I'm taking 6 to I'm taking 9 plus the bolts. Oh, didn't block. I go to 4. Oh, they untap and I'm dead. Like it.
Damn.
Oh god, it's the closest thing I think I've ever seen to vintage in a Legacy event, where it's just like, oh, they just play 1 CMC, I win the game.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Who gives a shit about paying?
Remember when they unbanned Luris for a month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. That's all I fucking saw for a
Yeah.
month, and I was part of the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, tell you what, you can have Lord back. I went, don't mind if I do.
Oh, so
yeah.
1 mana, I win the game. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Now, I am wondering, because I agree with everything you said about Legacy. I'm going to say that right now. Like, everything you told me and everything, like, I completely agree with that. One thing I will say is I am kind of surprised there wasn't a Pioneer ban. Of course, I feel like Pioneer is in a good spot still. I think it's in a very good
Yeah,
spot.
well, I'm just, what card would you ban in Pioneer?
Honestly, I think the only card I could think that would be
If you say Greasefang, I will stunt on you.
Do I look like Cooper?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. No, honestly, the one card I would think that would even be considered would be Nykthos.
That's fair.
That's
That's valid.
just because it is with Nykthos, it's not bad. You can get removed. You can get it removed. Beseiju helped a lot with that. Look at the printing of that one.
Yeah.
And like you have other land removal if you need it. But
Does Pioneer have land removal?
Beseiju, Field of Ruin.
Okay,
that
all
type
right.
of deal.
Or not. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that kind of land removal. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking of like classic Ponza, like Stone Rain.
Oh
that type
yeah,
of shit.
no.
And
Like
I was
that.
like,
No,
I don't think they have
wish.
Stone Rain.
I would totally make Pioneer Stone Rain if I could, but no. But stuff like that. I mean, it's not too horrible, but I do think it can be kind of oppressive when it's like, okay, yeah, I'm playing mono green. Turn 3, I can literally play whatever I want.
Sure.
So
I'm just vividly recalling. I'm forgetting who it was that came in to buy cards for a Pioneer deck.
Mhm.
And I'd ask them, what are you playing? They go, oh, I'm playing Mono Green Devotion. I was like, and they were kind of explaining, like, yeah, Nykthos. They were playing Nykthos Lotus. I was like, I haven't seen that in Pioneer too often. I was like, what do you do with that? And they went, lose mostly.
That's fair.
That's pretty good.
Yep. I was like, oh, that's
pretty
that
good.
got me.
That's real good.
Yeah, because I mean, the biggest issue is like with mono green, that deck it's a good deck, it's a solid deck. But with Nykthos, it just makes it just like, okay, like turn one, you're going.
The fact that
Llanowar
you
Elf.
have both Llanowar Elves and Elvish
Mystic.
Mystic and Nykthos is a bit rough. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and it
Oh, and
literally-
Goose.
Yeah, and Goose, Gilded Goose is in there. But no, it's usually you see that Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic are the big ones. Then they also go into Burning Tree Emissary, which basically just automatically.
Oh, that's right. It's
Yeah.
Gate Crash, isn't
Yeah.
it? Oh, I forgot that card was in Gate
So
Crash.
it goes basically like, okay, like turn one
Yeah,
elf.
that's too much.
turn
That's probably
two-
too much. That's probably too much, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Now I think about it, that might actually be a bit much.
Did they also just print that? And it was it AFR, not AFR, Midnight Hunt, the white green whenever you cast a creature, draw a spell. Draw a
Oh,
card?
Rite of Harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's like the more expensive. I keep wanting to say glimpse. I know it's not glimpse.
It is Glimpse.
It is
It's
glimpse.
Glimpse.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
glimpse.
yeah.
Okay. Wow, I was right.
Yeah, the 2-mana Glimpse of Nature.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a 2-mana,
yeah.
slightly slower glimpse of nature.
Well, it's a 2-mana Glimpse of Nature, which means it is unplayable because
Yes.
Glimpse of
Yeah.
Nature was like, I mean, Glimpse of Nature should stay banned, by the way, in every format that it is banned in. Like, please.
What's wrong with glimpse?
But it's because it was 1 mana. It's
Yeah.
the fact that it was 1 mana.
If it was 2, it'd be fine.
If it was 2 and across 2 colors,
True.
though
Yeah.
that doesn't actually matter with a lot of the green cards.
yeah.
Yes,
no.
I know.
Because it's
So-
pretty
Well,
easy
I
to
mean
make
that the
different
mono green
color.
devotion deck in Pioneer right now, it's literally okay. Turn 1 land, turn 1 land elf, turn 2 another land. You can go another elf or Burning Tree. Turn 3 Nykthos. Cool. I have.
So
or you also have the-
I do want to say you said another land or burning tree, another elf or burning tree. No, my dude, it's both.
It can be both. Oh, it can be
Right,
both.
because it's you tap your elf
Yeah.
for another elf. You're burning. You use your 2 lands for the burning tree, then use the 2 mana made by burning tree to either
Into
cast
Nykthos.
another burning tree or activate Nykthos and just go
Yeah,
do more.
and just go ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes nuts because then you're facing that. You literally by like turn 2 or 3, you kind of got to go like, okay, do I do something about the Burning Tree? Do I do something about that? Because 9 times out of 10, there another good turn 1 opener is when they're doing the Oath of Nissa,
Yeah,
which Oath of Nissa allows you to play your planeswalkers with any color mana.
yeah,
So then people will run things like, oh, here, I'll throw in Nicol Bolas
yep.
because I can
just
play
be-
that easily.
Which I want to. It is infuriating that one of my favorite top 15 favorite cards ever printed is a Grixis card being played in a mono green list.
What's wrong with that?
I would like to request Magic players please start naming your decks sensible things. I'm tired of looking at mono green fucking Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, mono green.
Yeah.
I'm
Bolas.
playing mono green Bolas. You're doing fucking what now?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Isn't that the one color he specifically doesn't do? Yeah.
Not anymore.
I'm playing mono red Elspeth. Yo, what now?
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That was with the one card I would have I think deserves a ban.
That's probably
at this
fair.
point. In Pioneer, I just think it's too oppressive, and it would slow. Mono green would still be playable. It would just slow it down. And that's what you need. You need it slowed down.
But I was like, Banjo, they can't ban it. They just made it a promo.
It's like that's ever stopped them.
They've put it in a fucking list that they hadn't yet put out and been like, Stoneforge Mystic is banned. Here's the modern event deck.
Yep.
With Stoneforge.
Or my favorite. Hey, we know we just banned that Faceless Haven card, but
But we didn't think about that before we made this deck list. So
or Fires of Invention. There's a little bit of a fucking precedence.
okay, but that Fires of Invention list was bad.
Oh,
even
yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
what a joke! Like seeing the Fires list go off and then looking at that Fires list was absurd.
I want
Like,
I want the
insulting.
fires list. We have fires list at home. Fires list at home.
Yeah, especially when the Golgari Adventures list was literally like oppressive. Like
Yeah.
that list was the list.
Ugh.
Like you didn't do anything to it because they just gave you the actual comp list. You just needed like 2 more Love Struck Beasts.
Yeah.
And you were just playing like the actual like maybe we shouldn't have actually made this.
And at that point, Love Struck Beast was still like $2. So it's
Yeah.
like, here, spend $4, and now you actually have a comp
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was so good.
Yeah, no, that was... that Fire's list was terrible. Oh, man. But yeah, no, it is a
It's hard out there
crazy
for a
world.
pimp, you know.
It is.
Yep.
But I will say this. I'm going to keep my ears open, though. I would not surprise me if, like, the beginning of November, they go, hey, we got one more announcement, ban and restrict announcement, and they do something because the regional championships are next month. And what people don't realize is the same week that the regional championships are for, like, it's the DreamHack one.
Yeah.
It's Pioneer. That same week, Brothers War is released and will be legally played.
Okay.
Legally played. They're not releasing it on Arena beforehand. So no one's going to get...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So people are going to go in and going, okay, cool. Good thing I studied the spoiler, but I got to see how these cards actually play in a big competitive event.
So unless they announce like something, unless they announce like an Oko or an Uro or a Jace the Mind Sculptor, right? I don't think anyone would. I wouldn't change my list before something that big, right?
True.
Like when I don't literally, you do not have a chance to practice with the cards that you would be getting.
In theory,
We know
you
how
could have
well
a week.
things work in theory.
I'm just saying, you in theory could have a week because of pre-release. Because pre-releases are still happening the same.
Yeah.
It'll still be the week before it's legal, and you can still practice. Plus, it's all coming together now. Sorry, my brain just started coming together. They just said earlier last or this month or
That
last
pre-release is not pre-release anymore.
Yep.
It's just straight up release.
It's just a straight up release, but it's also they're not setting you limits of what you can buy.
Yeah, and it's also legal immediately.
Oh, it's legal.
No, it's not.
No, for it is still not like tournament legal for a week,
yeah.
but you can buy singles, packs, whatever you want.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if this was slightly planned, because the big championship is Pioneer the week that Brothers War releases. So now they're coming out going, okay, yeah, we're no longer going to hold you back on what you can buy, but here you go. Like, that's the trade-off almost.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's also where I'm like, thank you, Pokemon Company, for doing this. Where they'll do their pre-release 2 weeks before the actual release. You can get your hands on stuff early, blah, blah, blah. Releases. And then for a month after release, it is not standard legal for their events. So you have a full month. You get the cards, play test, find new decks. Because there was recently there was a regional championship in Peoria, Illinois that they held, and that was the first event where the last set had been legal for. Where people were like, "Well, the World Championship had happened, I believe, 2 weeks prior to that," and people were like, "Well, why aren't they playing the new Lost Origin cards?" And it was like, because they're not legal. They release them, let people play with them for a month, figure out what they want to do, and then they make them legal for the next tournament. And that way people can get the shit, but not have to immediately start swapping decks, play testing, figuring out how everything's supposed to work on such a limited time frame. And gives them minimum a month to figure out what the fuck they want to do with the new stuff before they have to, go and shell out. I think it was like $75 entry for the event.
Sure.
And, 10,000 cash and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you, Pokemon Company, for being reasonable fucking people.
It's
You're still a corporation,
it's
but I
wild.
appreciate it.
It's wild that we are a company owned by Nintendo is the people that we are thanking for being reasonable.
Which
Yeah.
also, just a little not salt, gas on the fire. Maybe some salt too.
Well, salty gas, sure.
Person also pointed out that for Pokemon's 20th anniversary, they released a rework of the entire base set.
Mhm.
It was $2.99 a pack for the base set.
Nice.
Yeah. Suddenly that $250 booster pack looking a little
Yikes.
fucking worse.
It's been looking worse.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's a rough
that was
one,
the
buddies.
No, Happy.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
might be dying.
you're right.
Yep.
You're right. Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just the most like accessible thing they'd printed ever.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Hey, happy
yeah.
20th. We're gonna give everyone some classic cards for cheap as shit everywhere you want them.
Yep. Yep. That's Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's a good time to be a fucking Pokemon fan.
It really is. I mean, they're listening to their player base. That's the big thing. They're listening to the player base. They're listening.
The TCG side of Pokemon is listening to their player base.
Yes.
Yeah.
VGC, that's an entirely different
Oh,
podcast.
yeah. That's a separate.
That's a
that is
very different podcast.
That is,
and boy,
that is
do
a
I
video.
have thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, but you don't want to hear them. The deck sitters don't want to hear them. God knows Wolfie Glick doesn't want to hear them.
But if
That's
you
a
do,
competitive VGC Pokemon player, for those who don't know.
I was like, but if you want to hear Happy's opinions, follow him on Twitter.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
follow me on Twitter,
follow
that's
me
fine.
on Twitter. You will get all of the
You'll
opinions.
get everything.
Most of them you don't want or care about, but you will get them.
And some of them we can't repeat on this show because we're still attempting to be at least teenager friendly.
Just trying.
And I've seen the things that Happy tweets.
Same.
Hey, I'm an adult. You know?
An
Right.
adult, an adult who had to block his job Twitter because
Yeah.
of certain things appearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that.
So
One of
listen. Memes are funny
my
and
memes are great.
often not appropriate for the workplace, you know? So I just nip that in the bud.
I meant more like the maid cosplays in the Kawakami.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those we had to quickly delete from the fucking inbox of our job email.
Twitter just should stop showing everybody what I like.
Yeah,
You know?
they do. They show a lot of what you like, bud.
And you know what? You're still following me.
I
so...
still am. 9 times out of 10, I'm liking them too. Like, hey, that's awesome.
I like.
I have no shame.
You can
so-
you can turn that off. You can go to my page and just click the you don't see my retweets, which are always fine, or my likes. All right, you can turn both of those off.
I remember like my first like month or so here when I got the Twitter up and going, and like I tagged you because I didn't know.
Thank God that Twitter is so dead.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah, because they were just like, because you were just like, oh yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you,
I'm like, oh, why? Then I look and I go, this is hilarious, but yeah, no, I can't do that anymore.
No, it's my personal Twitter account.
It's great.
Yeah.
You're gonna oscillate between socialist rage and I don't know. I have other moods.
Oh, yeah.
Can't think of any of them right now, but
Just do the thing where that everyone else does. Where it's like thoughts and opinions are my own. Do not reflect my. And you're not liable anymore.
Basically, get a hat, put a bunch of moods on a piece of paper, put it in there, then just pick one. That's Happy's Twitter.
The WotC intern method.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so that's against the banned and restricted announcement. That's what we got. That's what we got for that one. But now we move to the next big interesting point, which will kind of speed up a little bit. But what's going on with the Warhammer decks?
So over the weekend, someone on Reddit of all places, unfortunately,
Yay, Reddit.
caught on that there was some market manipulation going on with those collector editions. Specifically, in one day, 3 of the 4 decks, the Necron deck was not affected. There was hundreds of sales for $1, which coincidentally dragged the market price on all of them down about $120 to $150 each. And there's a lot of speculation. People are wondering, is this like one person running bot accounts to see if they can drive the price down to catch someone who has like the TCG player automatic pricing tool set up to buy them out before they're able to catch it and adjust properly.
Yeah.
Other people are speculating that maybe TCG player is not the intended target. It could be they're going after like other game stores that use TCG player median prices as their price point to see if they can catch them selling things for way too cheap. And the final was just the theory is simply people are testing if enough sales go through by like seconds apart with a bot account, can they drag prices down on things that are very limited quantity? For example, like dual lands. If they're able to get the scam up and running, can they successfully drive down the price of duels wait for someone who's not paying attention to adjust their prices to the new low or median and buy them out faster than they can realize that this just happened. Because while we were looking through this, it was like, one sale, $1, one sale, $1, 50 sales for $1, 200 sales for $1, and then there'd be one sale for like 250, which is the reasonable, real one.
Yeah.
But TCG Player hasn't commented. There's no like, oh, this is what happened. It's not like, oh, some idiot accidentally listed, instead of listing one deck for 500, he listed 500 decks for $1.
Sure.
No one knows right now. The prevailing theory is this is a person or group of people are testing if they can successfully scam TCG Player Marketplace and start buying out product.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I'm hoping this is a one and done that we will never see this again, but seeing as the sales are still showing up in the sale history as of last night, TCG Player hasn't reversed them, hasn't removed the history. This might become a thing stores have to watch out for, is fake accounts artificially manipulating price points to make a profit on them.
Gross.
Yeah.
That's gross. That's so dumb.
Which I know that our boss is a little happy that we A, don't sell on TCG Player, and B, we don't use their fucking automated market price tool.
Yeah.
Because if not, we would have had to collect our decks for $120. And
That reminds me. That reminds me. I should probably send a message to one of my friends from in South Jersey. He runs a local game store. I might need to message him. I know he uses TCG Player a lot for his stuff. Be like, oh, you might want to be.
Like, I believe it was the Imperium deck. And I think about it, somebody did get caught by it.
No.
There was one sale for I believe it was an Imperium deck for like $120 because they likely just listed the deck, went up, that's market price, clicked OK, and sold the deck for half as what it should have been.
Damn.
Yeah, which like sucks to be that guy, but pay attention, man.
Yeah.
If you look at all the listings, go, why is market price $120 when the lowest listing is $250?
There's an issue.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, just a little bit of fun financial manipulation over the weekend.
Yay. Financial manipulation.
It's someone's playing the stock market with Magic cards literally now.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a while. I mean, isn't there like the whole thing? Isn't there like a whole organization called Quiet Spec that literally just speculates on cards?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Quiet Spec is a tool.
Gotcha.
It's a price tool. It scrapes
Gotcha.
all that lovely data, speculates on what price points are. The problem with that is that the guy who runs that tool will sell his license to anyone. And that means that if you buy his license and you know what other places use his tool, you can build a bot to catch them not pricing things properly.
Nice.
Because it's just a program. It makes mistakes. We've been caught by it at the store where a card will spike like a motherfucker.
And we won't catch it fast enough, yeah.
Yep. Or like, for example, Card Kingdom will do the thing where they just take their stuff out of stock instead of adjusting price. So we have TCG Player for $1,000 and Card Kingdom for $20, and they're running their lovely little scraper tool and go, hey, we see them all over that store. They're still selling it for the rich price. Yoink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the Quiet Spec guy.
That's fair.
I would like if he didn't sell his tool to anyone who asked him for it. Maybe just to stores only, seeing as it was meant to be a price tool for stores to set things automatically without having to fucking individually price out thousands of cards. But it makes some money, so capitalism ho.
Capitalism ho. Got any thoughts?
Well, that was the Magic Finance segment of the show. On to the next part.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yep.
It's like, wow, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I guess to really kind of close this out. So, by the time you see this video, hopefully you've already seen that we released a gameplay video. We played some Commander with my lovely spouse, Silver, who also writes for the Game Talk Network. You should check out the website. Because I know they definitely have some articles about the BNR announcement that's going to be coming out, if it's not already out. Let's get the other couple cool articles, so check them out. They're great. But no, we played Sure. Anyways, we played a fun game of Commander with the Warhammer 40k decks and had a lot of fun. I felt like we had a lot of fun. I know I did.
I mean, I had a lot of fun until I was unceremoniously just destroyed by heresy.
Yeah. That's how it does. That's how it goes. It was wonderful.
And in the end, Tyranids eat everything.
Yeah, I screwed up.
That's true.
I totally screwed up. I should have been patient and waited with the chaos thing and be like, no, let's get rid of Old One Eye. That's what got me in the end. Old One Eye.
Old One Eye.
Old One Eye. But no, it was a lot of fun. I I was playing the Chaos deck. You had Imperium. Silver had Necrons, and you had Tyrannid. And Tyrannid, well, actually, I won't spoil it. You should go watch it. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, watch the episode, you fucking clowns.
Yeah, watch it. It was a lot of fun. We had fun.
I like fun.
It was a lot of fun. We had a double elimination, which I was really happy about.
It's true. It's true.
Great.
It was pretty good.
You might have heard Happy go, suck a dick.
I did look right at him and say the words, suck a dick.
Yes. And I said, but why? You're dead. God, that was so much fun.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. Well, I will say one thing though. Earlier that day, so we that was the same day we were doing. They had the Warhammer event here. Like, hey, if you play, you get to fabricate. So we're like, okay, we'll do that real quick. We decided to play the pre-cons because we just had them there. It's like, yeah, it'll be fun. And it was a lot of fun watching because I ended up getting third in my. I was the second one dead, and it was just Silver and another guy that usually comes here. He was playing Imperiums, Meg's playing Necrons, and Meg's like, okay, you know what, screw it. We're just going to do this. I'm going to do this big thing that's going to basically kind of like wipe the board and give them a good chance to win. And just watching him go, yeah, no, we're going to, he's like, deny the witch or something.
Yeah.
That counters it, and they take damage, and they just killed them. Like, oh, like we had so much fun. It was so much fun watching because there was a lot of Warhammer fans there too.
Yeah.
Getting so excited about their favorite characters being in the decks. It was a lot of fun to be around because it was just like, cool, I can feed off that energy.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for the player that we killed first. He was like, oh yeah, I'm just playing a deck that I made with proxies. And it's like, okay, you're playing
That's what you get for playing mono blue merfolk.
Eat the crap out of that. Like, I kept wiping the board constantly.
I like board wipes. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Board wipes are good, ladies and gentlemen.
What's wrong with board wipes?
You should just play a lot of those.
Do you like board wipes? You love board wipes, don't you?
Yep.
Oh man, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
It was a great time.
And then we played a little bit more Commander afterwards. Our friends came by and we played, and that's when I got mad about Magistrate or Drannith Magistrate.
Yeah. I also played some more Magic afterwards, but I was a little bit yucked up. No, it was great. We were all yucked up and a little rowdy. So none of the games went in my favor, but it was a good time.
Oh man, I would love to get a yucked up game going for Magic. We need to plan that again, folks.
We absolutely do.
We do. But I think that's all we got today. I think that is all we got today. So we will be back next week with more shenanigans of Magic. Hopefully more news, maybe some more interesting stuff. Who knows what we'll do, but it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I've been Andrew.
I did wreck it.
And I am a fucking pillar of salt.
Salte. And we will be back next week for some more MTG Rundown. I can talk.
We'll be back next week with more of the MTG Rundown.
Thank you.
Take it easy, folks.
Have a good one, guys.